Hi guys, welcome to my coffee show. My name is Jack and today we are comparing two kind of a budget hand grinders. Timemore C3 with those new 2022 burrs, spike to cut burrs or whatever they call them. And we will compare it with Normcore version 2 hand grinder. And this is the grinder with titanium coated burrs. They look kind of similar. Normcore is slightly taller, the handle is a little bit longer, and it's also slightly heavier. 475 grams for Timemore and 510 grams for Normcore. Probably the weight difference is due to a bit more plastic in the Timemore. The knob is plasticky, the lid it's made out of plastic, and the supports inside are made out of plastic as well. The body is made out of aluminium. The color, as you can see, kind of a darkish black. Nice dosing catching cap. I like the threads here, so it's relatively easy to lock it in. The burrs 38 millimeters steel, and that's the special geometry. It cuts the beans first into the smaller chunks and then it grinds it. To regulate the settings, you have those that metal click at the bottom, tells you how many clicks you should aim for. Pour over, how many clicks you should aim for. Espresso, yes, this can grind for espresso. I think there are 12 clicks per revolution and you would have to do the multiple revolutions for the pour over. I have no idea what is the space in between each click, how many microns. That must be at least 30, but I don't know. So if you do, please let me know in the comments. In the box you get a brush, manual, and you also get like a carrying pouch. The price of this grinder fluctuates a lot. I bought it on Amazon. You can find my affiliate links in the description. I think I paid 60 something pounds, but you can find it cheaper, you can find it more expensive. This Normcore V2, it's definitely more expensive, at least in UK. On Amazon I paid I think £100, but remember this is the version with the titanium coated burrs. I said that Timemore C3 feels solid in the hand. This one feels better. The supports inside are made out of metal. Even that knob that you use to regulate, it looks more premium. You have 24 clicks per revolution. Again, I don't know the size difference between each click, what's the microns in between each click. I think it will be less than Timemore because you have more clicks per revolution. The catching cap, you also have to screw it in, but the threads are, I think, are worse. They're slightly thinner, you have more threads. You can see there's already like a damage, the paint is coming off. Here you've got that rubber thing for the grip that should help you with the grip, and also you can store the handle like so. Grinder comes in the very nicely looking box, and also a carrying case this time, carrying case, so you can see where that extra 20-30 pounds went for. You get a blower, some people use it, I don't, and you get a brush. I mentioned the burrs titanium coated. Now I heard the stories that the titanium coated burrs on these versions are not exactly the same as the the steel burrs. I also read that Normcore apparently source the burrs from option O hand grinders. I have no idea. If that was the case, that would be a great value for money, this grinder. On paper, you know, 38 millimeters price range. Well, this is slightly more expensive, but you get more for your money. At least in theory, they should be very close to each other. So that will be a very interesting, or it should be a very interesting video. If you as excited as myself, definitely click like and consider subscribing to the channel. Plenty more things coming. So we will do some blind tasting today. The way it works, you know, obviously I won't be looking. I will have two glasses here. Both of those grinders are the multi-purpose grinders, but I think if you're looking for them, you probably will be more likely to do a pour over rather than espresso. So to save you some time, so you don't have to watch the entire video, but please do, I will do the pour over first. I will use Pelicano coffee roasters. I think they're from Brighton. Papaya, candy floss and purple grapes. Size 2 V60. I will use those fast filters that one of the viewers recommended. I will put the links in a description. I will put 45 grams of water first, the water temperature 98 degrees, and I will bloom for 2 minutes, and then I will pour the remaining water. And it is relatively easy, especially for on those higher settings, and it took 25 seconds to grind. That's the downside of this grinder. The coffee stacks kind of in the edges, in the grooves here, and it feels much easier to grind. It took the same, it took 25 seconds. In terms of the retention, I mean, today we got a little bit less on this one. So the way we do it, I have a letter A here, I have a letter B here. Letter A is for timer, letter B is for Normcore. Coffee bed from Timemore C3. A little bit on the muddy side. I mean, both of those grinders need more seasoning, that's for sure. I was aiming for 3.5 minutes total. It went more like in 4 minutes altogether. So now that's a Normcore bed. It went slightly faster, about 10 seconds faster. Okay, so the cups are ready to accommodate the temperature difference. Obviously the one would be hotter. I cooled down the second one slightly. So now I will rotate the plates without looking. First sample, chocolate sweetness, floral smell. Second sample, more mint, but otherwise very similar. Cheers. Fruity, tad to bitter. Not too much sourness, but nice body, thick, relatively thick for the pour over. Tea-like, hints of the chocolate in the background. Even though the flavor notes here and what was written on the back, I don't taste what they promise, but what I'm getting here, it's very nice. It's maybe slightly too bitter. Some water, cheers. Pleasant, fruity. I think I can get some hints of like a tropical. I mean, is it papaya? I don't know. I think I would say papaya more in the first one. Pineapple, maybe those grapes that they promise. Let's go back to the first one. Sourness went up slightly. That bitterness is still here. And this one. They are so similar. I'm getting slightly more body in this one. I'm getting maybe 2% more of the nuances in this one. The cups, the flavor notes are almost exactly the same. The only difference, and that what helped me to choose the winner, this is slightly more bitter than this one. So close, it could go both ways. This is because of the bitterness, I'm choosing this one. So what it is? So I went for B, which is the Normcore. So today's winner is Normcore, just to prove you. This is letter A, but the flavor notes were so close. It was like slightly more of the nuances in the Normcore and less bitterness. That bitterness, that was the deciding thing. And now I have to drink espresso. I will use La Marzocco Liva style profile on decent. And again, letter A for timer, letter B for Normcore. We will use this coffee from Ethiopia from Plot Coffee Roasters in London, and the flavor notes of mango, blood orange and a hint of baking spices. Still okay. I mean, obviously you have to put a bit more effort. It took about 42 seconds. It took more than a minute and 10. Even though the process itself feels smooth, it took more effort at the end to grind. Anyway, let's taste some coffee. It was a very painful process. Dialing in espresso on a hand grinder is not something that I would recommend. On the timer I end up on a setting number 6, and I also have to increase the dosage to 18.5. On the Normcore on a setting number 15, and I had to decrease the dosage to 17.5. Timer. Normcore still took 3 seconds longer, 41 or 40 seconds. versus 37 seconds for the timer. I try to manage the temperature of those two shots so I cannot detect immediately which one is hotter, and I also mixed both shots so I don't see the crema, but just in case I won't be looking. Very floral smell, hints of spices in the background, sweeter floral smell, and also spices in the background. Sweet, juicy, neat finish, slight bitterness but not too much. Cannot really distinguish the flavor notes they promised. Body not too thick, not too thin, kind of in the middle. Good shot! Cheers. More body, the flavor notes less pronounced. It's a bit longer finish, it lingers on the tongue a little bit longer. The bitterness is exactly the same in both of them. It feels like it's a bit less going on in this shot. In the previous one I could look for the flavor notes. Here it would be difficult. Okay, so here notes are sharper, body is thinner, taste is a bit crispier. Here the taste stays longer on your tongue, the body is thicker, but the notes are a bit muted. Which one would you choose? That depends on the day, depends on the coffee. I'm kind of moving back and forth, so again, there's not a huge difference. For today I'm choosing this one, but I could as well go for this one. This one is more vibrant, and that's what I'm in a mood for today. So let's have a look. So I went for B. I went for B. I went for the the Normcore again. And just to prove you, that's the letter A, that's the timer. So guys, first of all, if you are still here, click like, consider subscribing. My final conclusions, both pour-overs were good, both were satisfying. Sometimes, you know, when I do those tests, I have two cups and they're too awful, and I have to choose one that is less awful. Today, both cups were good, slight edge to the Normcore. For the espresso, I went for the Normcore today, but I could go both ways. I went for the vibrancy today. Tomorrow, I could go for the deeper body. In terms of how easy it is to dial in for the pour-over, exactly the same. In terms of how easy it is to dial for espresso, it took more effort with the timer. There are less clicks, less settings, so that you have to play with the dosage and so on. Overall time, when I measured the final times, it was about 1.5 minutes on both of them. So about the same time, the same grinding time, effort about the same, so no clear winner here. Because you have a bigger range for Normcore, you can play a little bit more. Build quality, Normcore is more solid. This one comes with more accessories, but this one is cheaper, about 30% cheaper. And the difference, as you could see, the difference in a taste, it's about few percent top. So if you on a tight budget, you can go for this one. I would choose this for espresso because it gives me a better range. For the pour over, you will be happy with any. I'm sure lots of you got either one of them, or maybe even both. Let me know in the comments, how do you like them for both pour over and espresso? How do you like those blind tests? I mean, for the grinders of similar caliber, that makes sense, I guess. Well, let me know in the comments, but for today, thank you very much for watching. My name is Jack, this is My Coffee Show, and hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you, bye!